Hey yogis, Kit Kat here. Today we are going to work into some hip opening so that we can eventually get into kurmasana and pancake our bodies to the floor. So without further ado, let's get started. We're going to start lying on our back today. And we're going to come into supta konasana, so supine butterfly pose. Bringing the soles of the feet together, drawing the belly into the spine and feeling the lengthening or flattening of the back down to the earth. Try and create a little bit of space underneath or between the shoulder blades here. Tuck the chin into the throat and allow the hands to rest down. If you'd like to, you can rest the hands just for a little extra weight onto the inside of the thighs here. And you can really feel the difference that that makes. So just relaxing the hands here. And if that's a little bit too much, you can always pop some blocks underneath here just to feel that extra opening. Or you can just breathe and be here for the next 3 rounds of breath while we feel that opening. The inhale creating a little bit of space. And the exhale allowing you just to let go. Surrender in and explore the space that you create. So the hips are a part of the body that hold a lot of our emotional content. Whether that be good, bad or indifferent, it's all in there. So sometimes we do have to make room by letting go of what no longer serves us so that we can let in the stuff that will. And if this is a challenging space for you already, just see if you can breathe and be with whatever emotions come up for you. Knowing that those emotions are just energy in motion and trying not to attach too much. One more deep breath here. Just the hand pressure, just really feeling that on the inside of the thighs. Bring the knees together and draw the knees in towards the chest. Give yourselves a little hug, maybe even pulling the forehead to the knees. Exhale and release and come into Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. So if you saw our tutorials yesterday on Ananda Hum, a little meditation there, Ananda meaning bliss. So this is our bliss baby. You can take a little rock side to side here. Maybe touching the left knee and then the right. Feeling the knee moving towards the armpit. Recentering yourself. Take an inhale breath. And as you exhale, see if you can draw the tailbone down towards the bottom of the mat. So away from the crown of the head. And tucking the chin into the throat, see if you can flatten the spine down onto your mat. 2 more breaths here. The inhale maybe. Finding a little bit of resistance there in the exhale. Allowing you to go a little deeper, lengthening and flattening the back body out along your mat. 1 more round of breath. Into our next stretch, we are going to reach our left leg by extending that left leg and reaching the toes down towards the earth. So the right hip's going to come up a little bit. See if you can still maintain that resistance by gripping into the right foot and pulling that knee back. You want to lengthen the back of the knee here, so press that, finding that stretch into the hamstring on the inside of the thigh. 2 more breaths here. Little moves, little calibrations, finding your way into the space. Drawing the tailbone away. Inhale and come back to center. Let's go on the other side. So extending that right foot down towards the floor, lengthening through the back of the leg, feeling that stretch in the hamstring. Keep pulling that left knee towards the armpit and the tailbone towards the back of the mat. What's going on? Chin into the throat. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale, back to center. And give yourself a little rock and roll there. Maybe some feelings coming into the hips already. And coming back down onto the mat, bringing the heels up towards the hips, pressing the feet into the floor, lift the hips, and just feel that stretch, that counter stretch through the front of the body here. Engage the belly, and you can reach the hands up to the sky. Feel the cervical spine pressing into the mat and creating a little bit of space between the shoulders. Press the feet a little more, squeeze the knees together, lift a little higher. Exhale and release. Cross the right leg over the top of the left and reach around the inside of that figure four, catching the shin and pulling the knee back towards the chest. So we get this lovely figure four stretch, stretching into the piriformis, into the hips, feels good. Maybe a little bit into the glutes. Again, that sensation of pressing the back body into the mat. 2 more breaths here. And release that down, swap it over to the other side. Right leg to the sky, cross it over. Maybe even flex that foot. Reach the hands through the leg, figure four. Interlace the fingers and pull that knee back towards the chest. We want to try and keep the hips a little square here. Chin into the throat, whole back body on the earth. Breathe. Think of the inhale creating that balloon-like effect of bringing fresh oxygen into the body, almost like it's blowing you up. And then the exhale breath occupies or allows you to occupy the space that you create within the body. So softening and feeling the depth of that stretch, maybe letting go of something else. Release that foot down to the mat. Again, we're going to rock and roll. Creating a little bit of movement in the spine there too, coming all the way up to seated. So I'm going to come into a little bit of a side stretch to start now. So you might like to start with this foot in towards the thigh and then reaching towards our left foot and up and over. Creating a little bit of space down the side body. And keep lifting up through the underneath side here too. Feels quite good. Inhale, plant that hand down and lift up and away for gate pose. And we really want to press through the hips here, creating some length down through the side body. Exhale, bring that back down to the mat. Lift this foot away. Fold this one in. Elbow on the inside of the thigh. You really want to press that leg back. So the foot is very definitely away from the hip by about a foot. And if you're feeling good, you can lengthen through the back body and feel that knee pressing towards the earth. You have this like engagement of the inside of the thigh here. And you really want to think about drawing this right hip back down towards the earth. So, not the easiest shape in the world. Maybe it is for you. I certainly feel and find the challenges in this space. Okay, exhaling, releasing that right foot down, and here we are back at the beginning. Reach the right hand for the right toes. Left hand comes up and over, feeling that length not only down the left side of the body, but lengthening underneath on that right side as well, so you're not crunching down into the waist. Feel the fingertips reaching far, far away. Exhale, release. Right hand down to the mat, coming up for gate pose. Maybe some adjustments there, maybe like my knee back on the mat. Pressing the hips forward and feeling that opening not only through the front here as you press the hips, but also down the outside and the side body. Gazing towards the fingertips, feeling lovely length coming into the body there. Exhale and release that down. Left foot comes out to the side. So remember, we've got this about foot gap in here. Fold the right leg in. Elbow into the shin and the hand resting on that knee. So I feel like I've got a little bit more space on this side, and not every side is the same. You might have that luxury. So you might find that one side's a little bit easier to work into than the other, and that's perfectly okay. So we're going to come into Malasana from here, and you're like, what? So just bring the hands forward, shift the body weight, and start to find a little movement into to your balasana, so your deep yogi squat. This little movement here, finding my way and feeling some external and internal rotation in the hips, feels quite good. It's going to give me a little bit more joint mobility in the hip area, and eventually finding my way down into my yogi squat, hands palms together. Press the elbows or the back of the triceps into the shins. Take an inhale breath and see if you can lift up just a little bit. And maybe work some length into the back. Inhale, lift, and exhale, release that down. Should feel quite good. Kind of sorta. Plant the hands, palms. Step the legs a little bit wider. We're going to come down into Skandasana and shift over to the other side. You might like to point the toe there and feel a change in that stretch. So shifting to the other side. And the puppies have just had breakfast, so they're having all out wars outside my front door. Point the toe, reach that leg away. One more time either side. Sitting back down into the hip. Maybe reaching that heel down to the floor, pointing the toe away. Really feeling that length underneath that extended leg. And coming up. Can't remember if this was my last slide. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Coming into the center, turn the toes. Inhale, give yourself a little bit of a lift here. Exhale, bring the elbows down. So this stretch, you're like, why are we doing this? This is like the inverted or the inversion variation of our kurmasana. So I've got length happening through the hamstrings, and you can walk the feet a little wider or you can bring the feet a little closer depending on where your flexibility is at. And draw the chin towards the earth. What we want to have is that sensation of not only lengthening through the back body, but lengthening through the front body. So sending the hips high towards the sky and drawing the chin down to the earth, so you can get that sensation of what pancaking the body is going to feel like when you come down to the earth. Inhale and lift. Bring the feet back a little bit closer together and find yourself down on the earth. So in this first variation, and it's okay not to get all the way down there. This could be a work in progress. And I haven't done this today, so this could be even different for me on this particular occasion. Let's see where we get to. So the legs don't have to be in a super split. So just pull the toes back towards the face so that the feet are in line with the knees and the knees are in line with the hips. Lift up, so you're engaging the core and you're feeling that length through the back body. Now what I want you to feel is the sensation of tilting the pelvis. So you're actually rolling forward and feeling that roll in the hips. And that's our first port of call. So once we get into this tilt, this anterior tilt, we want to start to walk the hands forward. So this might be you today, or this might be you today, perfectly okay. Wherever you are, just stay there and breathe. If you can feel you can go a little further, come a little further. And eventually we're going to start to walk the hands down and walk the hands a little further. The other thing that we can do here is, if you have a towel handy, is actually feel that stretch moving. The towel's got a little movement happening of its own accord there. So feel a little bit movement. Oh, it actually feels quite good. Sliding and opening. And you can do this just with the hands. I've got tiled floors, so it does, when you've got sweaty palms, make a little bit of a difference with the towel. And then you can hold that down there. So as you move through into this space, like we've done some quite deep hip opening now, but if you are going to work into some of these deeper variations, I would really strongly advise that you do go through sun cell A, sun cell B, including a warrior one, move into some warrior two and some wide side angle pose, because that's going to start to really create some hip mobility and some movement for you. And I will include a couple of other stretches just in small separate tutorials so that you can add those into the play, into the mix as well. So we might already be down into this pancake shape. So to come into our kurmasana, I'm going to give the knees a little bit of a bend. Ooh, this could be interesting. I'm going to take my elbows together and bring them down towards the earth. So you can see I'm already turning my hands down, so I can get them underneath my knees. And I'm going to shuffle my hands back and flatten myself to the floor. And this is where that chin to the earth comes in handy from our previous deep forward fold. So this is your first variation of kurmasana. And just breathe there and be. If you want to come back out, can be a little bit of a challenge. Try to engage into the quads and the adductors, and that way you're going to be able to draw the legs or lift the knees, and that does take a bit of brain to body action. So to come into the full variation of the pose, we're going to start in our pancake again. And if you're already in your kurmasana and you have the arms flattened underneath, you're going to bend a little into the knees. You're going to start to bring the hands down. And I might actually turn side on for this so you can see where my hands are at. And I don't have the full bind in this space yet, so it's something that I'm personally working towards too. But it's certainly a fun space in which to play. So I've got a little bend in the knees first. I've got my tilt in my pelvis and I'm leaning forward into that pancake shape. Taking the arms underneath and coming then into a Baddha Konasana shape. I'm then going to twist my arms and flatten my body down towards my legs. And the leverage of bringing the hands together actually sends the heart space down towards the floor and brings some length into the spine and eventually the head, and eventually the entire body pancaked to the floor. So I can come out of this space by wriggling the feet and releasing my hands. So in our Ashtanga practice, we actually come out of that into a lift and then jump back. So that was perfectly imperfect. Usually when I practice that, I've gone through the entire primary series, which I haven't done this morning. And my first-hand experience is that doing the primary series and moving through all of those shapes makes a really big difference. So if you're just going to come into this stretch from here and that flexibility and mobility, flexibility in the hamstrings and the adductors and the joint mobility in the hips isn't there, certainly warming up and moving through some of those exercises is going to make a difference. So wherever you are in your kurmasana, I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial and that you continue to practice and continue to come back to the mat, because every day is different. It's just a journey that we're on. We never reach destination done. Like, there's no such thing. It's always just a journey, and we keep evolving and changing and moving through that every single day. And it's just about learning to appreciate and love ourselves and our journey of where we are in this particular moment in time. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you on the next tutorial. Namaste.